Hello and welcome to the Wrestling Corner, episode 24, Extreme Rules or Fools. So proud of the title. As always, I'm joined by my co-host Simon. How are you today?
Doing all right. Lot of wrestling, but
Yeah, a lot of wrestling.
I think I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, so today we'll be talking about Fight for the Fallen. We'll be talking about, obviously, the typical stuff, your NXT and your Raw and SmackDowns, but then we'll talk about Extreme Rules and also Slammiversary. So, a lot of shows this week, were they bad, were they good? We'll have a good discussion, but we'll start off with the shows that are normally very decent you can rely on. It's Fight for the Fallen, so the show opened up with a match that they'd really been highly promoting on like the social medias and YouTube. Cody Rhodes versus Sonny Kiss. I think obviously Cody's been doing these open challenges, and when Sonny Kiss was announced, I think everyone thought easy squash match. So did I. I think even going into the match, you see Cody winning easily, but they really put Sonny Kiss over in all these things, saying how he has definitely been overlooked, and he put on a great showing against Cody. There was a point, Sonny hits a crossroads, and for like a second when he starts covering him, I'm like, is Sonny gonna win here? Obviously, Cody kicks out and he eventually wins with his own crossroads. But there was a sliver of a second for me that I was like, Sonny Kiss might win here. Obviously, it didn't happen, but I think considering Sonny Kiss has been on AEW Dark, hasn't really had a prominent feature on Dynamite, I think it's a very good showing for him.
Yeah, it just kind of followed the previous. Cody makes someone look strong, beats them, but gets them over in defeat. It wasn't so much about Sonny Kiss; it was more about Cody does press ups and tells him to get his head in the game. Sonny Kiss gets some offense in.
Yeah, I think
and
it
we're
was more
slowly
Cody
just
made
heading
it
towards
easy.
descent. But I don't. It's got to be. It's got to be a Cody heel turn, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's rumours that they're going to be setting up a Four Horsemen with Sean Spears, FTR, Cody, and then Arn and Tully.
I don't want it.
I don't as well. I think you're relying on a lot of nostalgia, which I think work.
I don't see why. I don't see why they'd all be together apart from the fact they've all got those kind of managers and the style. But it feels like doing it for the sake of doing it rather than what makes sense.
Yeah, I like the whole thing with Sean Spears currently, where he was sort of taking the mick and sort of becoming a joke, and Tully has told him step up, and Sean Spears is sort of trying to do that.
It's off topic, and it's not to do with AEW, but apparently last night on Raw, Ron Simmons was on, and he was talking to MVP and Lashley, and people were being like, "Oh, is this the sign that we're getting the new Nation of Domination?"
With Shelton.
And it's similar to that in terms of we don't need a new Nation of Domination.
I think MVP's crew is good. Yeah, like with some things I understand. I think with pay-per-views you can rely on nostalgia. So when they brought back Starrcade or In Your House, I think that works because you're still using your current wrestlers. You're not relying on no gimmicks.
Yeah, bring back old names and bring back old things and make them current. That's great. I love that stuff.
But I don't think you should rely on the Horsemen to put your show over because Cody doesn't need it. FTR currently don't need it. The only one that might need it is Sean Spears, and I'm slowly seeing a little bit of progression with him. With Tully's basically telling him to grow the fuck up. It's basically how it's been going.
Yeah, the magical black glove. I'm not into it, but it's
no. Right. There might be people who are. FTR versus the Lucha Brothers in what was a very, very good match. I really
hang on, I've not actually got notes up yet. I can remember bits of it, and was there a really mental spot? No, I'm thinking of the Canadian Destroyer in the next.
Yeah, last week. Last week, Canadian Destroyer.
Yeah, but the one this week in Jurassic Express versus the Elite that will come on to.
Yeah. I mean, the finish came where Dax tried to pulled the mask off Phoenix. Phoenix tried to conceal his identity, and then Dax rolls him up. Sort of a very heelish win. Which I don't understand considering I think Lucha Brothers with the heel. Well, they're both really heelish, but I thought Lucha Brothers won the more heels in this match.
I think I kind of liked it in the sense that they're all about following the rules until it comes to the part when they're about to lose, and then it's okay to not follow the rules.
Mm-hmm.
it's a good little it's a nice little thing to have.
Yeah, I mean, we got something was there. The Butcher and Blade taunted FTR afterwards, saying they'd stolen the truck keys. The Young Bucks hit sneak behind, hit super kicks. The Bucks head to the ring, gave the keys back to FTR. Kenny Omega came down and sort of offered them, because obviously last week FTR offered like beers to Kenny. Kenny went, "No, I don't drink." FTR were very offended by this for some reason, and then so Kenny comes down and he offers FTR beers, and Revival FTR pour it all over Kenny's head, which I didn't really understand. Like, I know it's a continuation from last week. They disrespected him, so Kenny disrespected the FTR in their eyes, so they're gonna do the opposite. But I didn't really see the disrespect, to be honest.
Yeah, it was good in the sense that it got Kenny fired up for what happened later in the night.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I didn't think anything of it. But looking back at what happened later on in the show, it was a good thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Really. So
I forgot about the little segment with FTR and Hangman Page. I don't know if they've classed that as a proper thing. Yeah, they did. Right. As this, Chris Jericho came out to the ring with Hager and Santana Ortiz. And it's typical Jericho promo saying, if you want a rematch, you're not getting one. You've had your chance. You were good, but not good enough. They poured some orange juice in honor of Orange's dead career. Orange Cassidy comes out, doesn't enter the ring. He's sort of just on the outside. And it's just Jericho basically shouting out at the crowd saying, "You're rubbish. Leave. Get out." Orange Cassidy, thumbs down. And all of a sudden, just gallons of orange juice fall from the rafters all over Jericho, all over his $5,000 jacket. Someone gave him a towel that had Orange Cassidy's face plastered all over it. It was a cheap comedy segment, but I think I think if this was anyone else but Orange Cassidy, I would have hated it. Because it's Orange Cassidy, I think I don't mind it.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, I couldn't. Like I said, I couldn't understand why people wouldn't like it because it's very.
I didn't like it for the same reasons. I think most other people didn't like it. It was just a bit like the whole "oh God" stuff. I did laugh, but then I thought to myself, if the roles were reversed and someone in NXT started calling themselves the Demo God, I don't think I'd like it. So
no, I think I understand why.
A rematch is fine, but this wasn't it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but as you know, I like my stupid things in wrestling. I'll let you talk about this match because I seem to feel like you remember more. The Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express, Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Marco Stunt.
Yeah, so Jericho's on commentary, just fuming for the entire match. It was what you'd expect the Elite and Jurassic Express to be, just quick paced, 6-man tag. There was one really mental spot that I popped for, and then I thought, no, it's actually really contrived. Was it a Canadian Destroyer to Marco Stunt from off of the second rope or something?
There we go.
Everyone's seen.
Luchasaurus grabbed Matt by the throat for a choke on the now known Marco sailed off Luchasaurus' shoulders with a Canadian Destroyer on Matt.
Yeah, visually impressive, but you wouldn't do it. It's the same thing of it looked really contrived, and it's kind of the same argument about in an eye for an eye match. Why would you hit a frog splash? Why would you Irish whip someone?
Yeah.
You know? It was just logic in it, but then again, it's wrestling. Logic doesn't always need to be applied. It's just meant to be fun.
This match was sort of the backstage segment with FTR and Hangman Page. So Hangman Page backstage drinking at the bar, and FTR come up and Hangman Page offers them a drink and stuff, starts drinking with them.
Yeah, and there was Kenny hit V triggers to both Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt, and then put Stunt away with a sick looking one-winged angel.
Yeah, and then he started beating up after dinner.
The bell rang, and Kenny Omega laid in the strikes. The Bucks threw him out, and Kenny was just saying it was a part of the match, but it was shades of a heel Omega, and I'm all in for it.
Same.
I've got so much more interest in seeing heel Omega than I do heel Hangman Page.
This feud is genuine enough. It's not even a feud storyline of the Elite versus anyone with Hangman Page, just because in the past 6 months they've teased Hangman Page being the bad guy. Now they're teasing Kenny being the bad guy. They've teased the Young Bucks being the bad guys to try and take Kenny away from Hangman. Cody's just nowhere to be found in the Elite. Like, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Is this when? Oh no, that's after. The Nightmare Sisters, Brandy Rose and Ali, took on MJ Jakes, Kenzie Page. Yeah, Ali picked up the win. Dustin Rose, Dustin Rose came in because he's like the manager of. He's sort of the Nightmare Collective. But yeah,
Do better with your women's division.
and
Do better.
I think the actual singles women division is good.
There's no stories.
Britt Baker.
Hikaru Shida literally said on this show, "We've got no one in our women's division, so I'm happy for anyone to come and challenge me."
Yeah, I mean the title, like you've got I think the biggest feud is Britt Baker versus Big Swole.
But they're short of women anyway, and then this kayfabe suspended Big Swole.
I know.
Come on, AEW.
And they need to find a way out of it. Speaking of the women's division, Nyla Rose came out and Dasha Fuentes interview base. Who's your manager going to be? I'm not telling you. And then all of a sudden, it's Vicky Guerrero. And you know what? When I first saw this, I thought, oh, that's pretty decent. I think she's going to get very annoying.
Yeah, I don't like it. I feel like they don't fit together at all.
No.
I feel like Vicky Guerrero's really good for like a chicken S-word heel, not a big unstoppable monster.
Yeah.
It don't work.
I don't think
Guerrero for me, Guerrero and Ziggler worked really well because she just fit Dolph down to a T. I can't comment on like the Edge stuff because that was all before my time, but
they fit well together as well. It was sort of Edge being this romantic, yeah. No,
it just feels like we've got a female manager. Let's just get her on TV for the sake of it. I don't know who I'd put her with, but
I don't think we need a female manager with it. Give her a male manager. Like put her with. I'm trying to think. A Tully or something. I don't think Tully should be with the. But you know what I mean? As someone who is a heel and will use Nyla Rose for best, I think Vic Guerrero will just be screaming from the side. I hope this isn't permanent. I hope this is a thing of Nyla Rose to sign on, then just realise how annoying Vicky is.
Maybe Vicky Guerrero's got more to her than just yelling and screeching. Maybe she can be like a Taz type sort of tactical.
Man, maybe.
And if that's the case, great, go for it. But until then, not for me.
Yeah, it's leaving a lot to the imagination. But we did have the main event. John Moxley versus Brian Cage for the AEW World Championship match. Good match.
It divided opinion. Where do you stand on the finish?
The finish, obviously, if you don't know, was Darby Allin, right? I'm just sorry. I think I missed.
No, Darby.
Yeah. It's because of the Taz thing. So Taz threw in the towel. I remember it now. I don't know. I like it.
I did not like it. Cage looked like a
Cage looks like a tit because he has had thing, but I like it. Taz is protecting his client in terms of as a manager, he believed that Cage was not going to win or was going to take too much damage, so he's tried to save his client. But obviously,
people saying it protected Cage because he didn't give up, and Taz is protecting his asset. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense to protect the asset if Cage actually got some offense in, but he was selling for 90% of the match. He got nothing in.
I don't know.
Not for me. No, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate the match. I thought the match was actually really good, but Cage should have shown a lot more fight.
I would have liked if Cage maybe just had the upper hand for the first half of the match, and also Moxley was targeting. Well, like he did, he was targeting the arm, and I think that's why Taz threw the towel in because he didn't want Cage's arm to get injured. I think the problem is having the amount of sort of attack on a person on a match. Yeah,
it's just a wrestling match though. Like you're gonna get limbs targeted. Like if you're not ready enough to have your arm targeted for 10 minutes, then who can stop the path of Cage? Well, evidently Taz can after Cage gets his arm worked on for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, and then after the match, Cage attacked Mox with the F2W belt. Mox just getting plummeted by Cage. All goes dark. Darby Allin's on the ring. Top turnbuckle hits him with the skateboard. Darby Allin's back, which I like. I liked it. I think he needed to be back on TV. I think the vignettes would probably get the packages were getting a bit stale. But I think, yeah, Cage looks weak. I think it's the same thing we talked about with Brody Lee. Where you have such good height. We've had such good build up for the guy, just them to be knocked down.
He's been nexused. Wade Barrett.
I don't think
he's not been buried. He's not been buried, but you never come back. You never come back from that first big match loss.
Cage has to beat Allen now.
For me, the Fiend still hasn't recovered and never will.
No, I think Cage has to sort of decimate Allen to sort of have anything of sort of coming back.
I mean, Lance Archer lost his big match, and now he's just not done anything. See,
Lance is another one. I mean, I think that's maybe because Jake the Snake's not on TV. But yeah, it's a problem they do with the big guys in terms of stature, because you've got the Cody who can have a great tension building match, yet if he comes ahead, beats one of these bigger guys look weak. I think your only big guy in the company now who looks strong is Luchasaurus, and yet he still doesn't pick up as many wins as he should in his tag team.
I think Luchasaurus is fine where he is. I wouldn't push him any further at the moment. He's just nice as an upper mid carder. Yeah,
I mean,
Jungle Boy is the star of that group.
Yeah, definitely. Marco's there to eat the pins and a bit of light comedy relief. Jungle Boy is the star, and Luchasaurus is sort of the vet, if that makes sense. But
he's the leader of the group.
I mean, it was AEW. It was a very contrasting opinion. You had obviously Vicky Guerrero as manager. You had the finish of this. But then you had some great matches. You had the tag teams of the Elite and Jurassic Express, and you had the FTR Lucha's match, which I really enjoyed. And I enjoyed the Sunny Kiss Code. It was I'd just give it a straight down the middle average.
It was a high 3, low 4.
Yeah, but before we
just a lot of shine off it.
But before we move on to NXT, I know there's a certain show on tonight.
Yeah, there is.
I
can't believe it.
So AEW Dark is their week show, and they normally have a big guy in the show. So they've got this week it's Kalen King versus Diamante. Wait, is that Kalen King versus Diamante? Yeah, I think it's a week after you've got Diamante versus Everlise or something.
Everlise,
yeah. You've got Scorpio Sky, Aaron Solo, Hikaru Shida, Rich Chanel, Peter Avalon, Brad Cutler, Butcher and the Blade, Kip Sabian versus Corey Hollis, Ricky Starks versus Will Hobbs, Darby Allin versus Robert Anthony. But the biggest one, I think, for you, Simon, is Best Friends versus Brady Pierce, and I'm going to let you introduce, and the big Sabby.
And who is Sabby, I hear you ask? It's Tino Sabatelli. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
When you put it in chat, I just went, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" Of course.
Tino's all elite. I'm buzzing because unlike Dark, they get entrances and everything. And I really hope he's got similar music because he had the best music in all of WWE. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing what Tino can do. A lot of people have been put I've seen a couple of people say I'm really looking forward to seeing what Sabby can do. And a lot of the replies have been people saying he's awful. The guy can't work.
Wow.
Tino can go. I'm telling people.
He really wrestled, did he?
He's been injured for 2 years. Like if he's not quite at the races, I think it's forgivable. But yeah, man. I mean, he's not all elite just yet, but
no.
I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do.
He's the first wrestler that's been fired to technically, because AEW would have been pre-filmed, to technically wrestle first. Because obviously you had Saturday Slammiversary, but I think AEW filmed before that. So
yeah, they had Cesar Bononi's been in the crowd for a couple of weeks.
Has it? But has he wrestled?
NXT Breakout Star of 2017.
I completely forgot about him, to be honest.
But he's not wrestled. But yeah,
he even got fired.
I think it's quite telling, to be honest, that as soon the first week after Tino's contract allows him to wrestle elsewhere, the second biggest company in North America has snapped him up.
I mean, it's
undeniable.
Yeah,
Tino.
I am looking forward to tonight just to see if he lives up.
I mean, he's got to lose, because everyone loses.
Yeah, and especially against the best friends.
But it's all about the showing. So, yeah, if he wins, wow. I like Brady Pierce as well. He's got the nice smile and the golden boots.
Never heard of him.
You watch
that? What company is he being in?
Who, Brady Pierce?
Yeah. Oh, he's just.
I think he's just one of the people that get into Dark every week.
Yeah.
So like he's had quite a few matches, but yeah, he's good as Dark. There's a guy called Will Hobbs who's like huge.
Yeah, he's on the show as well, isn't
he? He had a really good showing last week. He's fun to watch. So I'd watch out for Will Hobbs.
It's how a lot of people got Sugar Dunkerton. That's how he got his contract, wasn't it?
Yeah, although that was mostly through Jericho berating him at ringside, but it does go to show.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was he hadn't actually been on Dark before he faced Jericho. Like Jericho was his first match.
Oh, yeah. I thought he had been on Dark before.
No, he's done quite a bit on Dark since.
Well, I know he did a stint up north, didn't he, in Yorkshire?
Yeah, he does. He was doing the Leeds Indies. I think he still was until like lockdown and stuff. And that man has taken his opportunity. So
fair play to him. But we'll move on to NXT. It starts off with Damien Priest defeat Cameron Grimes. So this is a feud that's been going on for a while. Damien Priest picks up the win, which I think was shocking considering Priest has been
Cameron Grimes.
It's been booked very weak on NXT. So with Grimes picking up the loss, I think that was very surprising.
Yeah, I don't know anything that's happened. I just Cameron Grimes and Damien Priest both make me laugh. So.
Yeah, but like on the NXT, Grimes has been booked quite strong, so I was shocked to see Priest win. Indy Hartwell defeating Shotzi Blackheart. Blackheart is sort of like Robert Stone came out and sort of distracted the referee and stuff, and Aliyah hit Blackheart with Indy Hartwell picking up the win. I like Indy Hartwell. She's very decent.
She's alright from what I've seen. Yeah, isn't she? I know Shotzi Blackheart was is still in the crowd on main roster. I imagine Indy Hartwell is too, which then makes them feel quite unimportant.
That's the thing. Shotzi Blackheart has been. I don't think Indy Hartwell's had main things on camera, but Shotzi Blackheart has had cameras up in her face and stuff. And I'm like, well, you can't.
Yeah.
We've talked about it so many times.
We'll come on to it, but the man of the match, the star player at the Horror Show Extreme Rules, Rick Buggs, was just on top form.
And the mental thing is, the two Kierans from the football podcast, they hadn't really watched NXT much in like 2018, early 2019. And so they didn't know who Eric Bugenhagen was. So as soon as they started watching Raw and SmackDown and NXT Live, and they looked in the crowd, they can just see Rick Buggs giving it his all. He immediately got their attention, and I can't believe he took him off TV.
I implore anybody to go and watch that Eric Bugenhagen's one TV match from like 2 years ago, because I just remember sitting in this chair and just watching it. I'm just fascinated, just like, oh my god, this guy, who is this man? And he's not been on NXT since, and that's so sad.
When we get Krause back, he will be the first person to open a show.
Imagine how over he's gonna be.
Yeah, well, everyone must have noticed him in the crowd first of all. So imagine he's music and he just comes down playing his guitar, all the crowd joining in. Ah, I can't wait.
I love Eric Bugenhagen.
And we'll come on to Extreme Rules, but the crowd in a certain match with Jesus Christ, stupid. But we'll come on to that later on. But we had the NXT North American champion Keith Lee defeating Dominic Dijakovic. So it's really more. This match was probably more setting up Dijakovic versus Karrion Kross. This week's NXT, I'm pretty confident. So it's also him and Scarlett trading words on Twitter. But yeah, Lee picking up another win over Dijakovic. Dijakovic really he's supposed to be on Raw technically, but
sorry, I'm just looking at Rick Bugsy's match history, and his most recent win at the last NXT house show that he did, he defeated Tino Sabatelli. I'd pay to see that match main event WrestleMania.
The prophecy.
Sorry, carry on.
The prophecy is being fulfilled. But yeah, so Scarlett was more looking onto the match. And I think Dijakovic is strange because we know he's good, but he just eats so many losses on TV, you don't really expect him to win. And he's also supposed to be on Raw, isn't he?
Dijak, yeah. I don't really know what's happening with Dijak. He's got to be on eventually.
Yeah,
but then again, I wasn't expecting him to show up on NXT again. So
no.
Maybe they brought him back down for the time being, especially because there was a bit of a debut on Raw last night.
Yeah. Timothy Thatcher defeated my boy Denzel Dejanay. Denzel Dejanay, who has sacrificed his body to be a jobber over the crowdless shows, and it happened again. Timothy Thatcher just decimated him. Oney Lorcan comes out to try and make the save, so we're getting Oney Lorcan, Timothy Thatcher again, which will be a very good match. And then your main event, Io Shirai defeating Tegan Nox. Tegan Nox had a great showing here, but Io Shirai sort of came out on top, picks up the win. So Nox tried to go for a Shining Wizard. Shirai sort of stopped it, hit a palm strike, then hits the moonsault for the win. I don't think Tegan Nox looks weak from this. I think she if anything, she looks stronger because she's put on a great match against Shirai and only just lost. And I think this match was all about the afters with Dakota Kai just basically killing Io Shirai with a big boot at the top of the stage to sort of end the show. So again, Dakota Kai versus Io Shirai, so your next Io Shirai feud, which I'm all in for.
Yeah.
It's cool. I think NXT was really good this week, and they slowly just grinding the show. Grinding through. I'm surprised we haven't seen no Finn Balor for a while, and also Era as well.
You don't really he seems to just be a little bit lost in the shuffle, which going back to his takeover match with Gargano in February, I've got or it might have been January actually, but I've got no idea how Finn Balor's ended up lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, no, he's Finn.
I was fully predicting him to win the NXT title, but then again, I guess he should probably be United Kingdom champion by now because he'd have beaten Walter.
Mm-hmm. I think they have been unfortunate with lockdown and stuff and COVID.
I keep looking at the fact that they've still got NXT UK Takeover Dublin for the end of October, and that ain't gonna go on. So NXT UK is gonna be inactive for probably about a year.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they probably can eventually start getting back to filming without a crowd, possibly. But
yeah,
they've had such a hit with all the women and men coming out against the talent that they're going to have enough because I know all the talent didn't, but there's going to be an aura around it.
I know it's not the same, but we've literally got a performance centre in this country.
I know.
So if they're doing the main shows, I mean, I know they've got to do the main shows because TV contracts and they're a lot more profitable and stuff. Because NXT actually runs UK at a loss.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just thought they might do big batch tapings at the Performance Centre in London, but
You would have thought they would have at least, say, once a week go in and film one match and do sort of what 205 Live was doing at the start, where they were showing one classic
Yeah,
match and then have a big main event.
yeah.
I
It
think,
could even just be the guys from England. Like,
yeah,
if you don't want the Scottish lads or the Irish lads flying over, fair enough. But
all you're required is literally to have 2 wrestlers or 4, a referee, 1 camera operator, and just use a hard cam the entire match. You probably won't
yeah,
look the best, and then
it
have
does.
1 producer.
And dub the commentary on over the top later. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
like high production.
Just
Like,
get Vic Joseph to do the commentary from America. Just give him the footage. Like,
yeah,
is it Vic
Nigel,
Joseph who does?
not
Oh, is it?
Nigel McGuinness is in this country not doing anything
Yeah, no, that's easy.
because he
Back
was
on
on
the other.
furlough, wasn't
Yeah, which is mental. Because I thought I was so surprised when I saw that. Because I was like, well, surely Mara and Beth are doing commentary. Where's the harm in just bringing Nigel back for it? Like,
Because he can't go over, can he?
yeah, but I'm at Beth and Mara filming from home. Because I don't think we've seen them in the crowd unless they are going to the performance centre and doing it there, just not on TV.
I don't know. I don't actually think about it.
Yeah, no, same. But great NXT episode. Before we move on to SmackDown, do you want to have a quick word about Impact?
Oh right, Slammiversary. Here we go. Hang on, I've not got my grades. I've not got my grades
That's
up. We started off. The opening match was really good. I can't actually remember what it was, but it was really good.
The X Division, weren't it?
No, X Division was like fourth.
Really?
Although that was really good as well. It was. Oh, it was the Rascals Open Challenge.
Oh,
Uh,
right, yeah.
so it was Des and Wentz, the Rascals. Open Challenge. Everyone were expecting the Good Brothers to answer, but no, it's the Motor City Machine Guns.
Which I'm very happy for.
Yeah, and I know. This is a terrible thing for me to say, but I've never seen a Motor City Machine Guns match.
Probably the best trans too now. Very good.
So I was really impressed. Like all the offense was like seamless. The Rascals are really good. I think Desmond Xavier is just outstanding. I have done
The
for a couple of
Rascals are
years.
good. I enjoy them
Yeah,
very much. Someone who do much TNA, Impact much. I like them.
it was just a quick, fast paced match. And the Motor City Machine Guns won with I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, it was like they put here a double package pile driver. But it wasn't a pile driver, but it was really cool. I can't describe it.
Yeah.
It was like two people hitting Murphy's Law.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
So that was cool. It says here that Shelley and Sabin were a step slower than they were when they were at the top. And wow,
No
I
shit.
didn't think that.
Well, I didn't think as well because I've seen the highlights of this. But if you think that, it's because they're
I
older,
thought they were.
surprisingly.
Yeah, I thought they were
I
on
did think
form.
they were. Yeah.
That got me off to I was buzzing with that start. I love Impact. I don't know why.
It was a very good show.
Tommy Dreamer versus Moose. This one brought me down a little bit.
Moose.
Moose is a little bit tainted at the moment. What with the whole, he's training at a convicted sex offenders gym.
What?
And then tried to defend himself.
What?
Yeah, have a look on Twitter. Ricochet's involved.
Whose Twitter should have gone?
I'd probably just type in like Moose and Ricochet. You might find something.
Moose and
So it was all right. I don't like Tommy Dreamer, and I never have done because it's just not my style of wrestling. It was just all very, extreme spots for the sake of extreme spots. It wasn't for me, which is a shame because I like Moose and the whole TNA heavyweight champion. Is he the champion? Isn't he the champion? Moose hit a really nice drop kick, and then hit the lights out to retain. Although I did prefer it when it was called the Spear No Jackhammer Needed. Because Goldberg lol. Knockouts Gauntlet match. There were like 14 entrances, and I think the match went like 20 minutes. It was just showing how many people they've got really. Katie Forbes, no. Johnny Bravo showing up as Taya Valkyrie and then Rosemary. It's not for me. It was all right. Smiley Kylie Ray got the win.
That's all right. I'm happy for her because
it was all right.
She was decent in AEW. It was the only experience. Then she sort of left under. I mean, circumstances I don't think we'll ever find out.
No, she was cool. I think I predicted Kira Hogan to win, although I can't say I was particularly bothered.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So that happened. Then I think Heath Slater showed up at one point, and his microphone was turned off. Sorry, just Heath.
Just Heath, yeah. It was made to tweet that. Make sure that you clarified.
Yeah. And then he had a backstage skit with Rhino, and then Scott D'Amore threw him out the building because he's not signed.
Yeah.
He was talking to Rhino, and they were like embracing, and then Scott D'Amore chucked him out, but nicely. Willie Mack versus Chris Bay for the X Division title.
Chris Bay.
This was awesome.
It was great. Willie Mack it's one thing Impact have had really well is a large X Division thing. You have Brian Cage. Willie Mack is not your typical big flippy guy. Yeah, he's athletic. I'm not gonna say flippy, but you know what
I mean. Chris Bay was just a really good match for him. It was a proper X Division style match, it felt quite big time. Chris Bay won with the art of finesse.
He's young as well, isn't he?
Sorry, what?
He's 24.
Yeah, he's quite young because he were on 205. He was jobbing on 205 Live less than a year ago.
Because that picture went around of him when he was younger, doing a video of him unboxing the TNA World Championship belt, and then nearly 10 years later, he's won one.
Yeah, I've not seen that.
Yeah,
but he's Bleach Report giving it a C+. I think
I would have given it more. Because I think it was fast paced. Yeah.
Cool. The North versus Sami Callihan and Ken Shamrock.
Yeah.
Right.
This was the low point of the pay-per-view for me.
Do you think?
I like Sami Callihan. I just can't get behind the North for some reason. I don't mind. I actually don't mind Ethan Page or Josh Alexander, but there's something about them where I'm like,
I'm completely the other way around. I love the North and can't get on board with Callihan and Shamrock.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I'm not a fan of Shamrock, but I like Sami Callihan. I don't mind the North. For me, it's Ken Shamrock ruined it for me. That's all.
Yeah. Shamrock was the weak link. I do like Sami Callihan. Just not particularly in this guise. I don't know. For me, it's Ethan Page for me. I'm not sure I like the North. I think I just like Ethan Page. But the more I watch Josh Alexander, I'm really impressed. So the match was cool. It was all right. Callihan was the legal man for a lot. And there was a bit where Ken Shamrock just seemed to get really confused.
Ken.
Yeah, come on, Ken. And the North got the win after a double neutralizer, taking their tag team title reign to over a year. Go on,
Jesus. Fair play to
them. Motor City Machine Guns came out and said they'll challenge them for the titles this Tuesday on Impact, which means this Saturday morning in the UK because we get it 4 days later.
It's one thing I really loved was them using sort of because it would have had more viewers the pay-per-view than normal TV. Promoting your TV on the pay-per-view is something that's so simple yet probably will be very effective.
Yeah, I'm highly anticipating a Good Brothers double DQ.
Yeah,
no contest, which is fine. So that was that, and then was it the main event? No, it wasn't. It was the match of the night between Jordan Grace and Deonna Purrazzo.
Two wrestlers I like a lot. Jordan Grace for me is good. Very good. I mean, Deonna Purrazzo is good, but I think I'd have to watch more of her sort of outside of WWE, but for me, Jordan Grace is on another level personally.
Well, that's the thing. I think with Deonna Purrazzo, everyone's known she's quite good, but WWE never gave her the chance to show it. But yeah, she was just constantly targeting the left arm. Jordan Grace had quite a few power moves, and it went for I think about 25 minutes, and at no point was I bored. Jordan Grace hit a Vader bomb, laid in elbows to the back of the head, but Deonna Purrazzo kind of shook them off and didn't just lock in the Fujiwara armbar. She did both arms.
Right, yeah.
And Jordan Grace couldn't tap, so she was like, "No, I give up. I give up."
Yeah.
Basically, and I quit match. And Purrazzo looked like an absolute star holding the bell afterwards.
And it's a good move by them. I mean, we talk about a lot of the impact take former WWE stars, but I think this was sort of the biggest chance where they've. It's the biggest opportunity to use people who do you like Deonna Purrazzo. We know
Purrazzo's not really a former WWE
star.
No.
Was it Women of Honor she were in? Deonna Purrazzo.
I don't know. She's from like the northeast, isn't she? Is it New York, sort of New Jersey area? So is that like MLW? I don't know.
MLW is New Jersey, isn't it?
I would say it's from round there. And MJF was in there.
Yeah. Yeah, but like you talk Deonna Purrazzo, then you've got Heath, who we all know is good, and I think this is perfect opportunity considering he was on Raw last week or the week before.
She did. Sorry, I was going to say she did 3 years in Ring of Honor, 3 years in TNA, and 1 year in World Wonder Ring Stardom.
Stardom.
Really matter. Yeah. Well, it doesn't say Stardom. It says World Wonder Ring Stardom, which I don't know what that is. Oh no, it is Stardom. I don't know my Japanese wrestling.
I'm guessing it's Stardom because a lot of women's wrestlers go over to Stardom and rock it. I mean, we might see Kairi Sane there very soon.
Bleacher, I was just say Bleacher Report have just summed it up pretty much perfect. They're saying Purrazzo made someone in Orlando who thought she wasn't ready to be on TV look like a fool. She was a star, shining brighter than she was ever allowed to during NXT. Putting the title on her so soon is absolutely the right call. It was the best match of the night to this point and absolutely lived up to the hype preceding it. And I don't think it was the best match of the night up until this point. I think it was
overall
the best match. This was really good, but I got worked in this match
with the Rich Swann.
Yeah, got worked.
So I didn't watch the thing. I was watching someone else react to it, and all of a sudden I hear Rich Swann. I'm like, oh, okay. I thought he was on the previous night before, but maybe not. Like the previous show, and then oh wait, he's injured. Oh, strange. And then I'll let you talk through it.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, so Rich Swann's revealed to be the fourth man, and I'm like, oh, okay, right.
Impact, come on.
It'll be all right, I guess. I don't know. And then just when I was gonna like go on Twitter to see if like everyone else was raging about it, Eric Young's music hit, and yeah, it's Eric Young, TNA original, TNA legend, and I was like, right, okay. So is he going to kick Rich Swann out of the match? No, it turns out it's a 5-way.
Which is okay.
That's fine. So match gets underway. Yeah, and it was world class maniac Eric Young as well, the character in which he made his name. So Trey from Rascals goes straight for Ace Austin. My favourite Impact wrestler, I think.
I know there was a lot of uproar on Twitter about sort of the winner.
Yeah, because Ace Austin put Wentz on the shelf, injuring him. So Trey was getting revenge for his Rascals teammate. Trey was the first man to be eliminated, which
surprising.
What? Yeah.
Rich Swann, considering he was injured, practically.
Yeah. So Eric Young got rid of him with a spike pile driver. I forgot to say, Madman Fulton, valet of Ace Austin got sent to the back early doors, which
that,
kind of gave Ace Austin a protected loss at the end.
Yeah.
Next out of the match was Eric Young, who got rolled up by Rich Swann. And then Eric Young killed him, pretty much. It was just surgically repaired knee, stomping it, hitting it with a chair, wrapping it around the ring post, just making sure he's unable to walk. Rich Swann fought for a little bit, and he got a couple quick roll-ups on Ace Austin, but quickly he hit the fold, and Rich Swann was gone, and then we were down to 2. Eddie Edwards and Ace Austin were the final 2. I was all behind Ace here. I was, I think he might have been like the youngest Impact World Champ ever or something. He tried to go for the fold. Eddie threw him into the corner. He hit the Boston knee party, just like that running sort of Daniel Bryan type knee. Kick out by Ace Austin. Straight away, Ace Austin hit the fold. Eddie Edwards kicked out. So they both hit finishes and got near falls. And then I was expecting another 5 minutes. And then pretty quickly afterwards, Eddie Edwards hit another Boston knee party. Hit the Die Hard for the win, which I can't remember what the Die Hard was, but it looked kind of cool. It was like a falcon arrow, but it kind of like a fisherman's suplex. Madman Fulton reappeared. Oh, sorry.
No, go on, no, Karen. I'll say after.
Madman Fulton reappeared, attacked Eddie Edwards after he'd won the title, so he couldn't celebrate. But then who comes out to make the save? Good brothers, Anderson and Gallows, with no first names. Interrupted the beatdown. They looked like they were going to attack Eddie Edwards, but then laid out Madman Fulton and Ace Austin, cracked open a couple beer skis, in their words, and celebrated with Eddie Edwards. That looks like it's the end of the show. Josh Matthews says thanks for watching, I think. Josh Matthews and Don Callis did a fantastic job on commentary all night long.
Josh Matthews is a guy who I enjoyed quite a lot.
Yeah, I find him touch and go, but in recent years he's just been on the right side of not being annoying, but being enthusiastic. He's really improved. Screen goes black. EC3 video package. He lobs a glass at a wall. Doesn't say anything. Show fades to black. EC3 is going to be on Impact this week. This entire thing was an A. The only thing was Eddie Edwards winning.
That was my one problem. I think.
Yeah.
I
was just going to say.
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say Eddie Edwards is fine, but he's not Ace Austin.
No. I was thinking, you've pulled the trigger with Chris Bay, 24 years old. You've pulled the trigger with Deonna Purrazzo, someone who has been underutilized.
Yeah.
Why not go for a sort of complete rebuild, pull the trigger with Ace Austin, put the belt on him? Instead, they've gone back to Old Reliant, where they know you can trust Eddie Edwards. He's a TNA guy.
He's a fan, and he's not stale by any stretch.
I think this was just a perfect chance, a night to prove that you mean business and going for youth. Because I think a lot of WWE and AEW, they don't really have many youth title holders.
Yeah.
If I'm correct in thinking Keith Lee's not young, and then you got your main Drew's not young, who's Braun's not young. Braun's in his late 30s, and then who are your United States Intercontinental?
Apollo
AJ. Yeah.
Or MVP, we don't know.
Yeah, I think it's Apollo. And so you don't really have a young champion. Io Shirai possibly. I think he's your youngest champion on your show.
Yeah, no, I think WWE are doing the best they've done in a long time at the moment in terms of champions, because they've got such a diverse range.
Yeah.
Just across the board, in that sense, WWE are doing really well, but Impact, they've got such a good blend of old stars and new stars in terms of Eric Young, EC3 coming back, Heath's debuted, Chris Bender and Deonna Purrazzo are stars. Ace Austin's going to be he's not a homegrown talent, but he's not an ex-WWE guy.
Yeah.
It's the same with Chris Bay. they're making new stars. They're using current stars. They've taken out the trash, so to speak, and replaced them well.
I mean,
the Good Brothers.
Yeah, when you said they didn't have the first thing, because Carl Anderson, surely he used it in New Japan. Surely he can use Carl Anderson. Unless he's just going to go as Machine Gun.
I don't know, but he is just Anderson.
What was Luke Gallows
Doc
on in New Japan? Because he weren't Luke Gallows, it was...
No, it was Doc Gallows.
Doc Gallows. I think he'll go back to Doc.
He's not, he's just Gallows.
Gallows and Anderson, I suppose it works well, yeah.
Yeah. They've got no first names. And then straight after Slammiversary, I listened to the Talk and Shop podcast.
The one with with the Good Bros, where they talked. They were very honest.
Rocky Romero, yeah.
Yeah, love Rocky Romero.
There's a lot. It's an hour 56, but there's a hell of a lot in there.
I'm going to give myself time to watch it because I know one of the biggest things is Triple H basically said to him, when I see you, I see your kids, and other companies might not be around, but WWE will always be here. And then, yeah.
They don't hold back on anything. They're looking forward to working in Impact Wrestling, and I think everyone's looking forward to seeing what they can do.
Yeah, well, they're going to be in New Japan as well.
Yeah, that's well. Impact are well up on the up at the minute. I'm gonna. I look forward to watching Impact maybe more than I do. Definitely more than NXT.
Really, I think.
And Raw and SmackDown.
I think definitely currently. I think next week we'll talk about Impact for a good while. I just hope to keep the momentum that they built from Slammiversary. So that's my one worry with Impact is we all know. Was it last year when it was Slammiversary and Tessa Blanchard had an incredible showing, and the pay-per-view is amazing. Yet they just didn't keep on getting the views.
Yeah, well, I think there's been a lot of changes in personnel, TV station, backstage management.
Wrestlers going, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a completely different company now. They're well on the up. It's taken me back to Impact in 2016 in the glory days, and once they can get, it's a testament to Impact that I'm saying all this, particularly because they are running shows in front of nobody.
Yeah.
And making them really entertaining. So when you can get all these guys back out and in front of crowds, particularly when you can fly people in from Mexico, because they've got partnerships with a couple of, I think the Crash in Mexico.
Is it the Crash? I can't remember which one it was. Yeah.
They've had a couple guys on their shows. Like, have you ever watched Taurus wrestle?
I've heard of Taurus.
El Hijo del Vikingo.
I've seen Taurus.
Vikingo and Taurus. I've seen a couple of the matches in Impact.
Crash is mental.
They were my two favourite guys. Honestly, once you add crowds and luchadors into this Impact group, I think that it's just going to be my favourite.
I think Impact are going to really benefit because people will see this and think, right, well, they've had a great showing. If we can go watch a show probably cheaper than other shows are.
Yeah, there'll be a demand for ticket sales. Yeah,
hopefully.
It's beginning to sound like a little bit of an Impact PR piece, but they've just.
I mean, if they fancy it,
nailed it.
We'll happily do a podcast every week about Impact.
Yeah, the company that wouldn't die are alive and kicking.
I know. Whenever you think Impact are gonna just sink like dig the grave then lay in it, they just resurge from the ground. Yeah. I mean, just before we move on to thingy, you've obviously Tessa Blanchard has had nothing, but Joey Ryan put out an hour video where he just basically admits he's guilty. I genuinely think it's one of the stupidest PR things he could have ever done. Because staying quiet, as shitty as you should admit to your actions, he put an hour out video where he tried to justify everything, and he just made his grave deeper. And
I've not watched it, and I'm not going to.
Don't watch it because it's not worth your time. It's an hour long. Ryan sat in when I've watched this, so you lot don't have to, and he talks about everything, and it just shows how I'm not going to say a piece of shit because it's hard. How I'm trying to find the right words to put it. How much people think they're in the right when they are very clearly in the wrong. He was trying to justify everything, it just didn't happen, and it's a waste of time. Don't watch it. But
I'm
yeah,
not gonna.
yeah. But
I'll let that take care of itself.
We've still got a lot more wrestling to go, so we'll move on to SmackDown. We'll sort of skim through SmackDown. Cesaro defeating Big E, setting up the match for Extreme Rules, the tables match. It was a battle to choose between a steel cage match and a tables match. Cesaro picks up the win, trusts tables. Which I'm happy with. It was decent. Cesaro and Big E are two guys that we know are great. Put on a decent TV match.
I got what it was.
Yeah, one thing I did like was the opening of SmackDown. Is that the theme hit, but then it was a bunch of the wrestlers talking about like what they're going to do tonight. Like you had AJ and Riddle talking about each other. You had Alexa Bliss. You had Miz and Morrison. It was something a bit different. Quite enjoyed it. Again, Corbin did a promo. Where he just basically sent out a warning for Matt Riddle. Then you had Bayley and Sasha Banks defeating Asuka and Nikki Cross. They've been hyping this thing up with Alexa Bliss. She was, what's it called? What's the talk show called? The Bliss.
A Moment of Bliss.
Thank you. A Moment of Bliss. They had a whole graphic with a mystery thing. Rumors it was going to be Tessa Blanchard was one that was out there. Another one was AJ Lee. And then people maybe saying, oh, it's going to be Nikki. Or maybe just an NXT person. Maybe Vanessa Bourne, possibly. It was Asuka. She comes out, basically a tag team match happens, basically, and then Bayley pins Nikki Cross dirty using the ropes, going into Extreme Rules. Then later on in the night, Nikki basically just becomes unhinged, the Nikki Cross we're used to seeing, and just attacks Bayley backstage. Really like that. You had Bray Wyatt just cutting a promo on Braun Strowman. Very good there. You had Braun Strowman defeating John Morrison. Probably the correct result because Morrison and Miz are not doing anything. Braun's got
John Morrison there though, especially after that match with Matt Riddle.
I think you would just switch Miz and Morrison out. Miz can eat losses now when he doesn't seem weak. Like, yeah. Lacey Evans defeated Naomi. Obviously, this all stemmed from the karaoke match, which Bray Wyatt took the piss off at Extreme Rules, which I loved. But yeah, Lacey Evans picks up the wins. I think bad decision. Naomi's been getting a lot of praise on Twitter. Someone said,
"Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. The outpouring of support for Naomi after this was quite huge. And just on Twitter alone, that video of Naomi returning in the Royal Rumble has got 3.3 million views.
I didn't know that it was that many views. Fuck.
And that's on Twitter. Think about how many it's got on like YouTube, Facebook, everything. Like she's got a following. People care about Naomi.
She's a big star.
She's a mega star waiting to happen.
And she's a WWE woman.
Like, yeah, she's a homegrown talent, but they just won't pull the trigger.
She's mental. Like, you've got a whole thing ready for when she can go on a main title run at Mania. Like, oh, look at her. This is when she was on the tutelage of Kelly Kelly. Then, oh, now she's rising up. She's the valet for the Usos. And then, oh, she's won the Battle Royale and like stuff like, you know what I mean? It is a title moment waiting to happen. I don't think it'll ever, unfortunately. Yeah, but our main event was AJ Styles defeating Matt Riddle. First of all, I think it's the Styles rolled up Riddle for the win, and them two. Go on, what are you going to say, sir?
I was just going to say. I just said it's 50-50 booking.
Yeah.
Let's make no one look special at the expense of making no one look weak.
I would have rather Corbin comes out and like ends the match in a DQ. Really? I would.
Early doors.
It protects them both. It was a very good match. It was a really good match between Riddle and AJ. It's a match you would expect. Corbin comes out and attacks Matt Riddle, which is fine. I just wish it would have happened in the match. Let the match run on for an extra 5 minutes, and then have the finish of Corbin attacking, causing the DQ, and that's how you end up like AJ's left or something, and Corbin standing over Riddle ending the show rather than AJ pinning rolling Riddle up and then like you said, it's 50-50 booking.
It just flattens everyone out and don't get anyone over, and that's the story of SmackDown. It was a much improved show, but there's work to be done.
There is. Hopefully, it improves over the coming months. But we'll move on to the horror shows. The horror show. Right. Okay, they do have an order. So the show opens up with the kickoff show. You have Kevin Owens defeating Murphy. Fair enough.
Match of the night.
It was a really good. Would you say match of the night? Yeah.
In terms of start to finish, just clean, quick.
Maybe the tag team. I very enjoyed that, but
yeah.
But yeah. I know there was a lot of outrage that why is Kevin Owens on the kickoff show? But you talk about a lot. Sometimes you can't be on every card. And Murphy gets a good showing against KO. KO gets a good showing against Murphy. I don't think either of these guys lost anything. Nobody expected. I think this match could have gone either way as well. So yeah.
The table match.
No, the kickoff. The Owens.
Oh, sorry. No. Kevin Owens was always going to win for me. Never in doubt. Murphy's just that guy.
It's a shame.
Murphy just loses.
He's the guy I could see leaving and having a big, like a huge. I'd not follow him, but you know what I mean, like a big moment somewhere else.
He's still in the best position he's ever been in the company because like this is he's on Raw every week, which I guess he's better than being the Cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, and I think he's in the best group he could be with as well. He's with one of the most recognizable faces in WWE currently. With Seth.
He is. I just want Austin Theory back though.
Yeah, I think once Theory comes back, the Messiah's really dominate Raw again.
I really don't know where. If Austin Theory, pure speculation, has got COVID-19, fair enough. But he's been off now for maybe a month.
A month, nearly, yeah. I don't think they've written him off. Cause it might be thing if like some wrestlers have said, I don't want to wrestle, I don't want to risk it.
They've not written him off because the last time he was on TV, he'd literally picked up a win on main event with Murphy. So he's not been like buried or anything. He's just gone missing.
And he hasn't been written out. So yeah, I think
we could ask that question about Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Otis. Like they've all gone missing. So you've just got to guess, haven't you?
But the main show opened up and it started off with a really hot start. Sarah and Shinsuke Nakamura defeating the New Day in a tables match. I mean, this was either the best or the second best on the card for me. 4 guys.
Oh no!
If this match was like had a proper crowd, I think it would be viewed as the best match on the card. Were you not a fan of it?
Yeah, sorry. I'm just looking.
I heard you go, oh no.
I'm just looking to see if I can find why Austin Theory's off TV.
Oh, don't tell me. Is it a bad thing?
He's been involved in some allegations with a 13-year-old.
Oh, Austin.
Oh, no.
Why would you do that?
Hang on, let me see if I can. I mean, this is from like a while ago, I think, but
I've typed in Austin Theory off TV and nothing's come up.
It's on Ringside News. Austin Theory accused in speaking out movement of inappropriate behaviour with 13-year-old girl.
Austin, man.
It's by a guy called Felix Upton, so I don't know if you want to find that and have a
I can see it currently. I'll let you talk about what you thought about the tag team match.
Yeah. It was all right, wasn't it? I don't like tables matches because they're always really anticlimactic, and I don't like it when people like teeter over the on the apron for ages, like, oh, will I fall? Won't I fall? And there wasn't much of that, and it was quite fast paced. I'm sure Cesaro knows the New Day inside and out at this point. It's just he could wrestle them in his sleep. And the finish came when Kofi had two tables stacked on top of each other for quite a while, and Cesaro hit a powerbomb on Kofi through both of the tables.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got new tag team champions. The only problem is Miz and Morrison won't face them because they're heels. The Forgotten Sons are off TV for reasons. And Uso is injured. So, I mean, is the only team that's left Lucha House Party?
On Raw.
On SmackDown for
SmackDown,
it's got to be Lucha House Party, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I'm trying to find out SmackDown tag team division, but yeah, I presume it's just the Lucha. Usos? No, Usos aren't on TV.
Usos injured. Yeah.
I don't have a clue. Yeah, I think Lucha House Party are the only ones.
Great.
That is bad, innit?
Yeah, I don't believe it. There's got to be other people. I'd say move AOP across, but an AOP is still injured, and obviously I think they'll go back to being with Rollins.
I'm trying to think NXT, but no.
No, I don't. Oh no. They move up the Undisputed Era as baby faces.
You know, but the sad thing is, it probably can work. I don't think they should, because Adam Cole not on TV as well. Like,
is he not?
No.
Heavy Machinery.
Oh yeah, but they're not really.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. We'll go back to Extreme Rules though. Bayley defeats Nikki Cross. In an actual sort of a win.
I didn't like Kyrie saying beforehand, even if you lose, we will still be your friends.
Yeah.
Women's angle and friendships, like.
Yeah.
Name me a better combo.
Kyrie didn't need to say that. She just didn't. Be a bit quiet. But yeah, Bayley picks up the win. Probably the correct result. Well, it is the correct result. I don't think Nikki should be champion yet.
Oh yeah, Nikki Cross has won one singles match in 2020. It's the right decision.
Yeah. MVP declared himself as new United States champion. So MVP comes out and the commentators basically explain that Apollo Crews is not cleared, but MVP has got something to say, and basically he declares himself as the new champion and leaves, and that was it. Very strange. If you go on to WWE.com, I think Apollo is still the champion. So I don't know whether they're waiting for Apollo to heal up and then he comes out and attacks.
Yeah, I was there thinking, well, all right, who's gonna interrupt this segment? All right, you've got Ricochet. It's got to be Ricochet and Cedric Alexander, surely sticking up for their mating.
Yeah.
And then MVP and Lashley got to the top of the ramp, and that was it. And I was like,
oh,
all right then.
I'm guessing we're ending there. I understand.
Just tell us that Apollo Crews has either got it or come into contact with someone, because ain't no one believing a full Nelson from a month ago has got him injured.
I am. The full Nelson is the most devastating finisher in all of wrestling. So
I mean, I know they don't want to say it, and I know they don't want to reference it, but
just say he's ill.
We're not idiots.
Just do the thing you do at Football Manager when your player gets a virus and he's out for 2 weeks. Just say that. Say he's got a bit of a virus.
Out for 1 to 2 days. Never send him home. Don't
bring him into the club.
Use Club Doctor. That's what I think. That's my go-to. Eye for an eye.
Eye for an eye. Seth Rollins wins. Now, if this match didn't have the stipulation, it would have been an amazing match because it was like the action in ring was good. One thing I like was Seth throwing Ray to the baseball side where Ray baseball sides out onto a table outside the ring. We like that. I like the attempts that Seth was doing, was trying to, same with Ray breaking the kendo stick, and instead of trying to use the big, he just takes a small bit of the kendo stick to sort of try carve the eye out. And this is wrestling. Where he tries to carve it out, that doesn't work. Seth repeatedly trying to pierce his eye thing, and eventually that's how he does pick up the win. So Ray does hit the curb stomp on Seth. Then he tries to push his eye into the ring steps. Doesn't happen. Seth reverses. Then Seth hits Ray. Ray's up against sort of the plexiglass board nearly. Seth just hits a really lovely super kick, then a curb stomp, and then just starts to push Ray's eye into the thing. And then Seth sees something. He backs up looking scared. Ray turns, covers his face. Dominic comes out. And then you don't see it on the live TV, but images went round. And Ray has got a fake eye hanging like by his mask, where his eye by his eye. But it didn't really show on TV. Ray just covered his eye, which I thought was a bit strange. But Seth backs up. He looks confused and he just starts puking everywhere. I thought that was very strange. Then Ray and Dominic just go to the back, and that was it. What were your opinions?
Yeah, right. I've said a little bit. I referenced it earlier. Like, if you're going to get someone's eye out, you wouldn't be Irish whipping and headlocks, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to turn into Brian Alvarez. The actual match itself was good. It wasn't. I mean, I know you've got to have the match to get to the finish, but I wasn't interested in the match because I was just so like, what are they going to do for the finish? And then the finish came, and I was quite underwhelmed because I was ready for CGI graphics, and that's my fault for expecting that, because at no point did WWE ever say CGI.
No.
And there was that split second where you can see Mysterio's
eye.
Ping pong ball?
Yeah, it was a ping pong ball that were painted very well.
Yeah. And that was there. Mysterio didn't seem in that much pain.
Dominic seemed more angry.
Seth threw up and then got booed, and it was like, why are they? I didn't get why they were booing him.
Yeah, so
he
this was my
he didn't create the situation.
This is my biggest thing. It was the crowd in his match. I actually quite enjoyed the match, as wacky as the stupid finish was and stuff. It was the crowd. So when Seth was trying to pierce Ray's eye, the crowd are just clapping. Come on, guys! Like, it should be dead silence. They should be shocked at what Seth is trying to do.
Horror.
And like they were just clapping, trying to build momentum. I'm like, he's gonna break his eye.
Yeah, Ray created the match, so why boo Rollins for winning it?
Yeah, he's just done what he should do, and he's wrestled. Like,
yeah, and then we had Charlie Caruso later on in the night saying that they don't think the optic nerve's been severed.
That's great.
So we can pop it in. It's not great. It makes the whole thing redundant.
Charlie Caruso has gone to hospital. She's learned about the optic nerve, and yeah.
To steal a joke from Wrestle Talk, there was a smaller eye underneath the bigger eye. In terms of the money in the bank match.
Yeah.
When Baron Corbin threw him off, there was a smaller roof underneath the bigger roof.
Yeah, it's a smaller eye.
Oh, come on.
It's good to see Kayla Braxton back on TV as well, after obviously all the COVID stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, God.
Stupid
stipulation ruined what could have been a really good match.
Yeah, it was a waste of time, but it could have been worse.
Speaking of waste of time, Asuka versus Sasha Banks.
Look, right. It was a really good match up until the finish.
Who were it tweeted? I think it was Tom Campbell or Adam Blompier maybe. When NXT match, WWE finish.
I think it was Adam Blompier, but yeah, completely.
So the match initially was great. It was a match you'd expect from Asuka and Sasha Banks. Let's say that them two were in their peak of NXT. It's what you would expect from both of them. And so then you had Carrie and Bayley outside, Bayley hitting the belly to belly and stuff. Bayley's distraction, so Banks did tap out to the Asuka lock, but because Bayley was referee was distracted by Bayley. The referee did get blinded by Asuka's green mist, which was meant for Banks. With the referee incapacitated, That's right. Bailey hit Asher with the women's tag team belts, but then, which is fair enough, it's a heelish thing. But then she put on the referee's shirt, countered the pinfall, and then gave the belt to Sasha. Now, in what world? This is Bailey's smart. She's been in WWE for a while. In what world does she think if she puts on the referee's belt, same with Sasha, that she's won the belt? I just don't understand. I just don't. What are your opinions on the ending of it?
So the match was all right. Well, no, it wasn't all right. It was great. But then I was like, right, here comes the sort of heel cheating, which was to be expected, and the belts come in the ring, and then I can't remember it completely. Oh, that was it. Yeah, Asuka blew green mist into the eyes of the official.
Yeah.
And then I was expecting Sasha to win, and then Bailey takes out Asuka, Sasha Banks pins Asuka. But the referee shirt, and I was like, right, okay, well, surely Sasha will get the win, and then we'll have like a ref come down and overturn it, or we'll just send another ref down.
Yeah, that's what they normally do.
Yeah, counted the pin. I was like, right, okay, and then I was like, well, this isn't it, obviously, because there's no announcement. The bell hasn't rung. There's no music.
And then the match is still going on.
Yeah, and then they rang the bell, and I was like, right, okay, well, he's only rung the bell because he's been pressured into doing so.
Mm-hmm.
There's still no announcement. And then Sasha's music played, and I was like, oh, that really is the end. That really was the finish.
The first thing I did was check WWE.com, see if she was the official champion, which she weren't.
Oh, I just presumed she would.
Well, I just wanted to check that.
I wasn't really thinking about what, to be honest.
No, I just wanted to make sure that, yeah. But stupid decision. And we'll come on to it more when we get to Raw. But we'll move on now to Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler. So McIntyre comes out, and then Dolph comes out. Or Dolph comes out first, and then Drew is basically saying, well, what's the stipulation? Tell me. And Dolph goes, it's an Extreme Rules match. But for me, if you do, so basically, if Drew does anything in the Extreme Rules thing, Drew can still be counted out. If Drew gets, if it's a DQ finish and Dolph wins due to it, Dolph wins the belt. First of all, really like this. It's the proper chicken shit. I think it's the chicken shit heel tactic of he gives all the benefits to him. Is it bad? I put this in the chat that I wanted Dolph Ziggler to win this just because he had been smarter.
No, I never wanted. It made no sense for Ziggler to win.
It wouldn't. But I just thought, well, Ziggler should be rewarded. He's been a lot smarter here.
It was a good stipulation, but I was like, it's a good stipulation, but then if Drew wins, it makes Ziggler look like a fool. And then I was like, well, if you're going to make anyone look like a fool, it's probably Ziggler.
Yeah.
It can be Ziggler, so it's fine.
I really enjoyed the match. It was a good Extreme Rules match.
The match was good, although I thought Dolph sort of going mental at the end and sort of getting fuming was a bit cliched. And then like when you're doing the big build to this move, I was like, right, the Claymore's coming. And then it was a quality Claymore. Like the sound on it was beautiful. But
it was the kip up as well. The timing from Dolph having to get up for Drew to hit the kip up and then get the run for the Claymore. These two have got good chemistry, which is good to know. Considering we're going to be getting another probably month-long feud with them.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised at that. No, I don't think we are. I think we'll have it probably in about 2 Raws time, maybe even next week, and then
I'm hoping this is a big summer. Sorry, go on.
I think Drew will dispatch of him quickly, and then we'll somehow go on to Randy Orton versus Drew at SummerSlam.
SummerSlam's in a month, isn't it?
5 weeks.
So it's not. They'd only have 3 weeks to build, which they can do with Orton. I'm hoping this Ziggler Drew thing is Drew just waits and waits. And Dolph's getting more agitated, like, well, when you give me the match, I want to know. You knew, Drew, when you were having it, you just didn't know what it was. And Drew just goes, well, you wait and see, Dolph. And then he gets to SummerSlam, and then, like, I don't know where they're going to have it, that's the problem, but then Dolph comes into the ring and he's looking around for something, and then Drew comes out and announces something at SummerSlam, and we have a really big match, like maybe it would be a steel cage. So it's very obvious to see one, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, but would you really be all right with Drew versus Dolph at a major pay-per-view when Drew has already dispatched of Ziggler, having been at a monstrous disadvantage for the entire match? He's got nothing left to prove. Why would you?
Yes,
If
it's a very different match, like a steel cage or something. If it was
Right.
just if Drew goes, oh well, it's a Extreme Rules match for me. Like if he just copies Dolph, no, then. But I think if it's a real a special kind of one, like a Hell in a Cell or something, you're not gonna get it because it's a performance center. But you know what I mean?
Drew versus Dolph doesn't deserve Hell in a Cell anyway.
Ah,
No, I think they'll do it on Raw and just dispatch of it in a week.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah,
just so they could get the Randy Orton Big Show out the way.
Orton versus Drew is where the money is, not in another Drew versus Dolph match. You know,
I can understand that, yeah. But we'll move on to the main event, which was the next cinematic match: Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman. So if I can remember, so Bray's is in his rocking chair. Braun appears in his car. Braun goes to immediately attack Bray. Bray vanishes, and Braun destroys the rocking chair. Then Braun starts walking into the swamp and he's attacked by two men who I'm guessing you realise are dressed up like Rowan and Harper. Obviously, it's not them two, but their outfits they were wearing. One was wearing a wife beater, a vest, and one was wearing like green overalls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really know who they were. I mean that.
I didn't know who they were, but I'm guessing it was sort of meaning, oh, that's Rowan and Harper, just because of the outfits were very similar. That's all.
Yeah, that's who we were meant to be. Well, I thought it was. I was all right with that, and then Braun Strowman got beat up by himself, and then I was like, oh, so is this match taking place in Braun's mind?
I'm guessing he got because Bray attacked him with a shovel, didn't it? And sort of knocked him out. So I'm guessing, yeah, this bit where Braun reappears as his old self. Which Braun, if you just whack his sideburns up a bit and make his eyes a bit more wacky, you can make him back to his old character. Very simple if you need. But yeah, Bray Wyatt knocks him out, and then Braun sees his old self and gets beat up by him. He wakes up, and he's sort of in like a little shack type thing.
And then it's just, as Tom Campbell said, it turned from the swamp fight into the swamp discussion.
Yeah, but I think you'd look back and that was an amazing promo by Bray with Braun sat in the chair trying to struggle breathing, like, and Bray just talking and talking. Other little references, I like the light bulb, like the old callback to when Bray had the light bulb in all of his promos. I can't remember like specifically what I talked about, but
yeah, that's the thing about a Bray Wyatt promo. It's always really good, but he doesn't. It's all style, no substance, which is what Bray Wyatt's all about, really.
So then Bray says, "I've brought a friend" or something like that, and a woman appears. I think it's a woman. It's a thing. A thing appears holding a python or a snake. The snake basically lunges in, bites Braun. Braun wakes up sort of by like not a pier but a dock kind of thing in the swamp. He's on the end of it. He wakes up and he sees something in the distance. And it's dressed very lot like Sister Abigail. So Braun walks closest, and I was at first I thought, oh, we finally get Sister Abigail. It looks a bit like Liv Morgan, and obviously Liv Morgan was the biggest rumor for Sister Abigail.
This infuriates me. I don't know why people ever thought it was going to be Liv Morgan.
It's because there were leaks, and sometimes you believe that. That's why I thought. Well, Liv Morgan's been rumored before, possibly, and then the veil comes up and it's Alexa Bliss. Obviously Braun is, and Alexa goes, "Braun, you love me. We can finally be together." And then Braun wakes up again. Sorry, I'm just having a drink. So Alexa unveils herself, starts talking to Braun, saying, "I love you. We can finally be together." Obviously, hinting back to their Mixed Max Challenge stuff. And then Braun wakes up and he sees like this small, dilapidated boat. But no one was on it. Nothing. There was just like some like loose stuff on it, but nothing else. Wyatt attacks him from behind, who basically submerges him in the water again. Tries to drown him, then reportedly hits him with like things. Braun gets the upper hand, attacks Bray, puts Bray on the boat, and pushes Bray off on the boat into just the swamplands. Braun thinks he's won, and then the boat comes back. No one on it, but the engine's running. Braun's like, "Oh well, that's strange." Bray reappears, and then they start fighting like a pagoda. They both fall off into the water. They're both struggling. Bray disappears. Braun manages to climb up out the water, climb up a ladder. And then Braun, they end up back in the water somehow. I can't remember. And then you see the mandible claw onto Braun as basically he's being drowned. And then you just get lots of like bubbles coming up from the water. You see struggle, and then that's it. You see no more of Braun. It goes silent, and then the Fiend reappears, and that's how the show ends. I know I'm missing bits like the end. So Braun does put Bray in the water. Bray never appears, and then while Braun's looking in the water, the end credits pop up, and it goes really silent. Then all of a sudden, the Bray pops up, grabs him, throws him in, drowns. Then the Fiend reappears.
Yeah, it was all a bit mental, wasn't
it? Yeah. They were very controversial. So I was speaking to both Kieran's about this when it happened, and again, they said they enjoyed it, and I think said it was fun, but it was more of a hype. It was more of a setting up match rather than a match.
Yeah, I didn't really. We didn't come out of it really knowing who'd won. It didn't really achieve too much. Like,
no,
I don't know. Yeah, it was all right. But if it was on a major pay-per-view, it'd have been a disappointment. But because I think it was on the horror show at Extreme Rules, it was
good enough.
Yeah, you could let it slide a bit, and it wasn't bad. It was just
no.
Confusing.
It still showcases how good Bray Wyatt is terms of a mastermind of creating a vision and executing it.
I was eagerly anticipating it, and I had no idea what was coming next at any point. And then even after it was done, I was like, I still didn't know what to make of it, which I guess is kind of the point. So
I think the one thing now is
not the right reaction from me.
Braun better not appear on SmackDown.
Oh yeah, how long do you have Braun off TV for?
4 weeks, 3 weeks, and it's not the Fiend Bray Wyatt, it's Bray Wyatt at Funhouse. One thing I did like was during the show, Bray would appear in like a vampire-esque outfits, like thing, and he was just talking about the match. There was one where he said, "Don't worry, it's not going to be as bad as a karaoke."
Yeah,
which I liked, obviously referencing how shit that was. But yeah, Braun, keep Braun up for 3 weeks, and then just one thing, Five for Finals comes out on the 4th week, and then it cuts to the Fiend, and he's just holding Braun hostage or something. I don't know how you'd work that out. But...
The only thing I'd have changed is I'd have had Otis show up.
Ooh, with the, do you think then it would get too comedic?
I wouldn't have had him cash in, but I'd have him turn up at the swamp, just making his noises.
Yeah, I don't know whether then you would have got too comedic. Maybe you have another, like, do you know when, because Braun saw himself, then he saw Alexa. Maybe you have another thing, like the first time he gets drowned, he comes out of the water and he just sees Otis making his noises, walking over to him. It's sort of just to put that in like fans' heads, like, well, Otis still has the thing.
If Otis can cash in at any point, like, why not try cash in when the man's getting drowned?
I don't think you should have had him in the in the proper match, but I think in like Braun's visions, you have
Oh,
Otis there, and it sort of shows that Braun is worried about Otis having the belt.
okay. No, I'd have fully had him show up.
I just think it would have ruined. I think it would have ruined it a bit. This
Only for a
series.
couple of seconds, just for a little bit of quick comedic relief. Like,
Yeah.
it's not super like it's a swamp fight, it's not super serious. Like, there was some good comedic relief in the Boneyard match, like when Undertaker just appeared behind AJ on like the digger,
The digger, yeah.
and the hand sticking up at the end. You only need a couple seconds of.
And then the Firefly Funhouse match, you had it when they were doing the 80s workout.
Yeah, like the light and shade is what I think sort of made those matches so good. Whereas this was just all shade.
Yeah. Actually, that's probably a good shout. But I enjoyed Extreme Rules. I thought it was a very decent B show.
It was a bang in the middle, 2.5.
Really, I'm gonna give it a 4 because it was entertaining. Because of just all the stipulations.
Maybe it's because Slammiversary came the day before, and I've given Slammiversary like a high 4.
Yeah. I can understand why.
So yeah.
But we'll move on to Raw now. We can go for a while. Move on to Raw. Seth Rollins comes out, cuts a promo. Aleister Black interrupts him, attacks Murphy and says, I want a match. He gets the match. One thing I don't like, so Seth Rollins beats Aleister Black. One thing I didn't realize, do you know Aleister Black was undefeated in singles matches for a year?
What, when was his first off?
I don't know, but like, he hasn't lost a singles match. People are saying he had a gauntlet match with the Good Brothers and AJ, but people are not counting that because it was classed as a gauntlet.
I'm just having a look now. Nah, a gauntlet match counts as a loss. Come on.
I don't know. People are not counting it because like it wasn't a proper singles match, even though it were. But people saying a year. I saw. I think I'm trying to think who tweeted about it. Brian Satin maybe Sean Ross Sapp, one of them. Yeah, since 2019. Well, yeah, since 2019, I think he's had a year of unbeatenness in singles.
I'm trying to find.
I'm pretty confident. Yeah, I saw it online because people were saying, "Well, why aren't they referencing this?" But yeah, Seth Rollins picks up the win. I don't mind it because he screamed at the end when is enough. Obviously, you sort of seeing Seth sort of showing remorse, like, well, I did this to Ray. When are you guys going to stop trying to attack me? When are you gonna just let it be? Genuinely, this is the best set.
From July 14th, when he defeated Cesaro in like his first main roster singles match. That was at Extreme Rules last year. He went unbeaten until March the 2nd, when he got beat by AJ Styles on Raw.
That was the gauntlet. So yeah.
Then he won 8 on the bounce. Got beat by Otis in Money in the Bank. And then won 4 on the bounce. And then he's kind of just been win-loss since he's been with like Humber, since he's been feuding against Seth, really. He's won 2, lost 4.
I just saw the stat, like, apparently just straight up single matches, so not kind of like gimmick matches, I think.
So, yeah, compared to what he was doing, Aleister Black's losing.
Yeah. I was going to ask, do you think this is the best Seth we've ever had?
Yes.
Yeah. I saw people saying possibly Authority Seth was better, or maybe Shield. I do think this is the best Seth. Yeah.
No, this is really good because everything he does is justified.
Yeah.
It's a layered, complex character.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it was in front of crowds,
he'd be even better because he'd be able to bounce off them. But I didn't mind it. We did get a backstage segment then of MVP calling over R-Truth. R-Truth was great in this. He was holding a frying pan trying to protect himself. And basically, MVP and Lashley goes, well, we're going to want the 24/7 to come out with us. And R-Truth goes, I ain't doing that. We weren't talking about you. Shelton Benjamin attacks Fine, new 24/7 champion. So Shelton Benjamin is with MVP and stuff. I don't know whether this will be permanent, but for the while it's all right. So MVP Lashley and Shelton Benjamin come out. They start to cut a promo. Ricochet and Cedric come out and they go, "Well, you guys just stop talking. You keep on dissing Apollo Crews. So we've got a friend with us. He's a former Raw man, and he's able to wrestle. And boom, Mustafa Ali comes back. He's got his first name back.
Yeah, that's good. Love seeing Mustafa Ali.
He's so good, isn't
he? He's just been gone for way too long because he's such an asset.
For once, I've seen 2 clips from Raw Talk, and one was Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, Mustafa Ali was on Raw
promos as well, innit?
He was quite good. Just a very nice man. Very good wrestler. I'm just happy to see him back on TV in any capacity. Even better that he got a win.
I think he can be at that United States Championship level and
win. Oh yeah, he should so be mid-card title.
I don't think he'll ever reach the peak, unfortunately, but I do think he can up a mid-card. For sure.
No, I don't think he's. I don't know.
I could see him having an opportunity at heel champion and losing, but I don't know.
But I feel like with Mustafa Ali, it's better to watch him chase rather than hold the goal in the way that Rey Mysterio is always better when he's chasing a title, but when he's got it, it's like, oh, it's the same. Kofi suffered from last year.
Yeah. The chase was great, but I think for me, I could see Ali having a lengthy United States reign where he's just having to consistently defend it, even if it's like a 3-month, 6-month reign. In that space, instead of doing 6 title defenses for each pay-per-view, he does 12 or something. He does a lot of title defenses.
Yeah. He's undefeated in 2020.
Get in there.
He's on a 7 match win streak. Although
when you don't wrestle, but
the first 6 of those matches all came before February 7th, but
we'll let him off. Good job he's got his first name back, and I'm happy he's back. Then we got Ruby Riott defeated Peyton Royce. Ruby Riott picking up a win. You're not a fan?
Christian cut a promo backstage first.
Oh yeah, Samoa Joe were good in this as well. Conducting the interview, but Christian. It was more just teasing to what Orton did to him.
It was all right.
Yeah. So you have Ruby Riott picking up a win over Peyton Royce.
I'm never going to be a fan of Peyton Royce losing, so it's probably not worth asking me because I find it possible to be unbiased.
We'll skim past it. The Street Profits defeat Andrade and Angel Garza.
Yeah.
They're your champs, I suppose.
They are your champs, but I don't know. It's an Angel Garza loss, which never sits well.
No.
I'm not bothered about the Street Profits.
No.
They could lose the belts now, and I'd be like, get in there.
For me, they're entertaining.
But you excited to see them wrestle?
Not particularly.
You think, Street Profits. I can't wait to see what they're going to do as the leaders of the tag team division.
No, unfortunately, but the tag team division has really took a hit recently in WWE, so I suppose you can't complain massively.
This next bit. Why is she here?
Stephanie McMahon made a huge Raw Women's title. Are you on about why Steph's here? I like this. Because normally we just say, oh yeah, this match is announced. We finally got a higher official announcing something using their power. It's a thing that we don't have often.
But is she using power? She's got nothing to do with Monday Night Raw.
But she's a higher up official in WWE, and it's something we've rarely seen in WWE is when someone wants a match. Like NXT was perfect William Regal, where and AEW with Tony Khan, like with William Regal, like he'll do a quick promo or Mara will go, and it has been confirmed by our general manager William Regal. It's rare with this.
Why didn't you get involved last night then?
Because it all happened too quick. She's had to, as a senior official, she's had to have time to think about it and what she needs to do. But yes, basically. Sasha Banks and Bayley came out ready to celebrate the thing. Title win that wasn't a title win. Asuka and Kyrie were not standing for it. They interrupted him, saying, "Well, I want my title back. You didn't win it properly." Stephanie McMahon came out, but didn't come out sure on the screen, basically saying a huge title match between Asuka and Banks for next Monday to determine the true Raw Women's Champion. Sure that there is a clear win. The title could change hands by pinfall, submission, count out, disqualification, or if anyone interferes. Wait, so
The
yeah.
I would just say the match between Kairi Sane and Bayley was fine and it was good.
Yeah.
That's probably Kairi Sane's last ever appearance.
I think Kairi Sane's is next week because this was pre-taped.
Oh, okay.
So I think they taped 2 things. So maybe next week, so she can help Asuka win it, and they
Yeah,
have a bit of a hug, and then she leaves.
That's quite likely. But yeah, the match was fine, but it was ruined by Stephanie McMahon's presence.
Yeah, but Kairi Sane's match was nice. Kairi picked up a win on possibly a last singles match. Apparently, she's leaving on very good terms with WWE, which is good to hear.
Yeah.
It's rumored she wants to go back to Japan. I think she's recently engaged and stuff. So
she's probably not going to come back, is she? Because she doesn't really have the status.
No, but
is she a one-time NXT champion and
one-time NXT? Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not what WWE consider.
I think I can see maybe when the crowd and flying and everything's back and everything's resumed normal. If WWE do a tour to Japan, I can see her coming out as sort of a surprise.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If they do a tour in Japan, yeah, sure.
Or maybe if NXT have got like, I could see her coming back for one-off NXT matches. Maybe I was hoping she'd get a final match against Io.
Yeah, in NXT, every option, but just not on main roster.
Mm-hmm. But if she's leaving,
she looks poorly on main roster, so that's not her fault.
Mm-hmm. Drew McIntyre comes out and just talks about what happened at Extreme Rules. Said he's looking forward to SummerSlam. He wants a worthy opponent. Dolph Ziggler comes out, and Ziggler's being the typical heel self, basically going, he was stupid. Yeah, come on, I still deserve another shot, don't I? And McIntyre's like, no, I'm leaving. And then Ziggler just does eventually get under his skin. And then he goes, I'll let you pick the as Drew's about to walk in, I'll let you pick the stipulation. Drew turns back and goes, fine. I got the stipulation. Dolph then just begs him, well, what is it? And went, you'll find out on the day we have the match. Like we said earlier, if this happens on Raw, fair enough. If it's a big stipulation and it happens at SummerSlam, I'm happy with that. I know you're probably not as much. This one is just a wait and see, probably.
Yeah, I've said it earlier. I don't like it. Just McIntyre shouldn't have to do it.
No.
Just he's got nothing left to prove. Dispatched of Ziggler when Ziggler had the advantage. Move on.
Yeah, I could understand why. So I suppose we'll look forward to that match coming up. And then you had your main event. Randy Orton defeated Big Show in an unsanctioned match. So Big Show went through a table, and then an RKO, and he kicked out. Then Orton attacked him with a steel chair. Then hit DDT off the ropes, and then another RKO for the 3 count. I don't think Big Show really got much in this match, much offense.
Big Show moves at 50% speed, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
He's a good guy to bring back if you need a cheap pop or someone just to fill in. So I'm guessing he lives in Florida. So I suppose.
I'm not going to be the guy to tell him what to do. But I did watch this, and I think maybe it's time to call it a day.
Yeah, I don't think
it's not bad. He's just slowing down. He doesn't do it regularly. That's fine.
I mean, after the match, the bell rang and stuff, and then Orton just lines Big Show up, hits a punt, smile across his face, and he just goes, one more legend down. So it seems we're getting the legend killer back, obviously.
Big Show's 48, and obviously he's the star of Netflix show, The Big Show Show.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you want some crappy American TV that's going to have a 1-season show, you might as well watch it. It's not the best.
The Big Show Show. I'll go on Netflix.
It's not the best. It's a typical like American children's like Nickelodeon TV sitcom or something. It's not amazing, but he's big.
Yeah, he does quite a bit with Special Olympics as well. Like he's a really good ambassador.
He's like Titus in terms of probably not the best wrestler now, but He's
I don't know.
very good.
Titus can
Titus
still go.
probably can, yeah. But they don't wrestle as much. But yeah, great ambassador.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was Raw.
He's 43. Wow, I had him down as a lot younger.
Randy.
No, Titus.
Titus, yeah. Oh,
wow.
yeah.
That's like 5 years older than Randy Orton, isn't it?
If you think about it, Titus was probably in his early 30s when he was on Tough Enough with Darren Young and stuff.
Yeah, well, he signed for WWE 11 years ago, so that was 32. Yeah, I guess he played a bit of football.
He probably older when he signed.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair play to him. That was Raw. You know what?
It was all right.
Entertaining. Some very decent. You had Ali's return. You had Seth. I say the start of the show was decent. You had Ali's return. Seth. I know Peyton Royce and Ruby Riott. And then as you get,
it's hard to get a feel for it just watching the YouTube clips. And I imagine if I did watch the full 3 hours, it'd probably be a struggle.
Yeah.
Orton versus Big Show was it's another person for Randy Orton to have knocked off.
Mm-hmm.
Big Show, big name. Apart from that, yeah, Mustafa Ali coming back was the highlight.
Mm-hmm.
On Raw was Ali. Seth Rollins was there.
And Shayna and R-Truth.
Seth Rollins is back and forth with R-Truth is well worth watching.
Yeah, it's R-Truth trying to make Shayna laugh, and there's a bit where he does get her. I can't remember what he says.
It's something about catering, but yeah. See, R-Truth is joking with Shayna, but with Seth, he's quite serious. Like
it's one bonus of R-Truth, he can switch it up.
Yeah, he's not trying to make Seth laugh, but he's like just asking Seth like why, like does he feel remorse? Like does he not regret what he did? And Seth saying like R-Truth shouldn't judge him until he's walked in Seth's shoes. And R-Truth's like, well, the old Seth Rollins wouldn't have done what you're doing now. And it's a really good back and forth. So yeah, that's Shayna Baszler doesn't say much, and Mustafa Ali just pops in for a quick chat. It's the Seth Rollins stuff that's worth watching.
Yeah. Before I move on to the main event, do you want to do your weekly roundup?
I will do, but not particularly. On 205 Live, Mansoor beat Tahuti Miles for the second week in a row. And Tony Nese defeated Chase Parker.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Not the best.
And on main event, Bianca Belair defeated Billie Kay. I like Bianca Belair, but I'd rather see an Iconic win. And that was the only match. So
yeah.
Not
the best this week. I've just found the clip. Shayna goes, you know what, catering wasn't even that good tonight. And I thought it was pretty good. You probably didn't put no tartar sauce in it. R-Truth is great. But as it's time, we're at the end of the show, which means it's the main event. Are you ready, Simon? This week, I want you to name me the main event of WrestleMania. So it's the main event of the main event. It's the main event of WrestleMania going back. So you've got 2 from WrestleMania 36. Then every single one after that is just 1.
Drew Brock.
Yep.
Boneyard.
Yep. 36 done. 35. I can give you the location if you want.
No, I think I'll be all right. I won't be able to go beyond 28. I don't think because that's when I started watching. Becky beats Charlotte and Ronda.
Yep. 34.
34.
It went down in New Orleans.
It did go down in New Orleans, as Kid Rock would say. Didn't Brock just kill Roman Reigns?
Yep.
33. The ultimate thrill ride. Give me the green light. Was Undertaker's sad striptease.
Yep.
After being beat by Roman.
Okay. WrestleMania 32. I don't remember 32s.
It was Roman beating Triple H.
It was. I was trying to think of the song for it.
Really dead.
31.
Yeah. 31. Seth cashes in on someone. It's Brock and Roman. I don't know who he pinned.
Yep, I'll give you that.
30 was Daniel Bryan, Miracle on Bourbon Street, or whatever it is. 29.
I mean, who did Bryan beat?
Who did Bryan beat?
Yeah.
Oh, he tapped out Batista.
And who else was in the match?
Oh, Orton, sorry.
There you go. WrestleMania 29.
Oh. Was it once in a lifetime seeing a Rock for the second time?
Yep. WrestleMania 28.
Oh.
You've already.
Cena versus Rock, number 1.
Yep. 27.
Yeah.
It's a surprise-ish.
The Miz pins John Cena for the title.
Yep. We're at WrestleMania 26 now. It was in Glendale, Arizona. Yep. WrestleMania 25, Houston, Texas.
Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker.
Incorrect.
Oh.
It was Triple H versus Randy Orton.
Yeah, wouldn't have got it.
2009. But you did very well.
Okay.
I've realised the best part of...
I know my wrestling since I've been watching it very well, but anything before that, it's all quite fuzzy.
I've realised the best thing about WrestleManias are the theme tunes. When there's a crowd and the whole atmosphere is on, there's nothing.
I associate WrestleManias with cities, colour schemes, stadiums, and theme songs.
And the logo.
And that's how I can define them.
I'm so sad that 37 may not be the same. I hope it will, because it's like the Hollywood one. And do you remember when they were in Hollywood last time, and they had all the wrestlers doing like the movies, reenacting the movies.
I know it happened, but I've not really.
I'm really looking forward to it though. It's going to be very fun. It was one that I'd love to go to. But yeah, you might not be able to. But that was the main event. You did pretty well. You got to WrestleMania 26.
Yeah,
which I'd say is pretty decent. 2009.
Yeah, 28 was I think the first show I ever watched.
Cena Rock. Mine would have been 30.
End of an era as well.
Mine would have been 30. Yeah. 30 was one where was it Cena Wyatt? Or was
30 was Cena Wyatt.
And the 31 was Cena Rusev.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because 31 was Cena Rusev when Rusev came out in the tank.
Yeah, and then 31 was Wyatt Undertaker. Yeah.
But that was Wrestling Corner. If you haven't heard of us, we have the Sports Corner YouTube channel. It's not just the Wrestling Corner on a Tuesday at 11:30 that's on this channel. On Wednesdays, usually it's Top Corner Football Podcast Talk, all things European football. That's at 3 p.m. I think it's our final one this week. We're going on a bit of... maybe next week is our final one. And then we're going on a bit of a break until all football's back. And then we're back for that. Then the NFL Corner, it's on a Thursday or Friday, time unknown. Last week they didn't do one because basically Will from it works. And so some days he's on, some days he's not. What else have we got to promote? Josh on Twitch is doing some FIFA things. He's also doing a lot more watch-alongs on the YouTube channel. So tune in for that. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday I'll be doing my watch-along again of the F1. This time it's the Silverstone Grand Prix, so that'll be very fun. Thank you to everyone that's tuned in. We've had some very decent views on. And so tune into this podcast as well. And anything else? Next Monday, Kieran D is doing a new one where he's going to be doing tier lists. I think he's doing Wonder Kids next week. I don't know who's going to be on it, but there'll be a rotating guest with Kieran every Monday from then on. Anything you want to promote, Simon?
AEW Dark tomorrow night.
Big Sabby. Come on.
And I got the fixtures wrong, and we didn't play Village Cricket this week. It actually starts on Saturday.
Wow.
So
you're playing this weekend?
Yes.
How many not home runs? 6s are you going to get?
Well, I've never hit a 6, so I'm going to say none.
1. I'm going to go for 1. It's the return.
Get in
a
there.
Big Simon.
It is. Hang on. Wait for it. Oakworth away. There we go.
Oakworth there. I've heard they're rubbish. I've heard they're wetties. One thing that we will be trying, we've got our return date. So I don't think we'll be back for SummerSlam, but definitely Survivor Series. They may be a live watch along, because we'll all be living together there by then. And I think Simon's very close to us anyway, so if Simon wants to come along, I know he don't watch pay-per-views live.
I can't at late nights.
But there will be a watch along with me and maybe the other 2 Kierans as well. So hopefully we'll have to get it sorted. It's a couple of months away, but yeah. But thank you very much, Sam, for joining me. It's been a hefty episode, but we've talked about.
Yeah, I kind of knew it was going to be a long one going into it.
Same. But we've had, it's a great week wrestling. We've had Slammiversary. We've had Fight for the Fallen. We've had Extreme Rules. Next week we're finally getting a good break, calm break.
There's no big shows now for 5 weeks from any company.
No, there ain't. So we've got a nice little break. But thank you very much for joining me, Sam.
Yeah. It's been good on it. Oh, Slammiversary. I love that show.
Ace Austin should have won. Thank you very much for joining us, and peace.